Happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome back. Hope you had an awesome Thanksgiving holiday with family, with friends, whoever was with. And here we are, December, rolling. So today I wanted to address or kind of go back to the Utah Physical Therapy Association conference. For those of you that were there and for those of you that missed it. A subject brought up there was interventions for toe walkers. And the presenters talked about the super solid ankle AFO being their preferred method, which raised a lot of questions. And so hopefully I can clear some of that up, because it took me a minute, to be honest, to kind of conceptualize the rationale too. And while I think there's still a place for a more traditional SMO with a high back and an articulated AFO, I'm starting to see more and more the rationale by going a little bit stiffer, and here's why. One, range of motion gains. Think about our most effective non-surgical route to range of motion gains. That's going to be our serial casting. Why is serial casting so effective? Is it because we're getting that range when the cast, or is it because that kid's held in a position and then over every single step they take, we've created a long lever arm forcing knee extension? That's, I think, the magic here with the range of motion gains. In a super solid ankle AFO, it's the same as the serial cast. We're locking that foot up, and to get a true stretch of the Achilles tendon gastrocnemius complex, we need knee extension. And this is facilitating knee extension, more knee extension moments, because it's much harder to get into the knee flexion, whether through our toe flexion or whether through ankle flexion. We're translating, increasing that lever arm into the musculature up above, where most likely those gains can be made. So that's number one. The other reason why they use the super solid ankle AFO as their preferred method, and again, this isn't for every kid, but I would venture to say a lot, I'm not gonna say most, but a lot of toe walkers have an anterior center of mass, meaning that they've developed their world is forward, and we need to bring it back. Most interventions are going to create that, are going to ensure we get a heel contact and get off of our toes on initial contact, but are we keeping them out of staying anterior? And I think that is the thing we need to start thinking about more. Something I realized I need to think about more, because in a toe walker that's been toe walking for 10 years and has truly developed that anterior center of mass, we're not preventing. The only way to bring that back is to bring the tibia, the shank, and be able to kind of pull it back. And a toe walking SMO, nothing's stopping it. Articulate AFO, again, we're not really stopping, especially with a flexible toe plate. Now we could do some things here, which we can talk about to make that a better intervention. But just to kind of help us realize why this might be a good intervention is because of that. Now we're creating more of an extension moment with a super solid ankle AFO, causing two things. One, to really bring that posterior, but then really allowing that kid to fire muscles proximally that they haven't fired much before. A lot of toe walkers have proximal weaknesses that aren't, they're not comfortable, they're not strong enough to handle a center of mass, a neutral center of mass, and so they stay in those positions anterior, where this is creating them or forcing them to develop those proximal muscles and be able to facilitate not only heel-toe walking in brace, but also really retraining and strengthening so that they can do it out of brace. Hopefully that made sense, or maybe brings up some questions that we can discuss together. Either way, we'll talk soon. Thanks, everyone.